This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Okay, so a big oblong cardboard box with the word Glarry Instrument written on it. So you've probably already gathered what we're getting up to today, so let's get right to it.
Go on, lad, way ahead.
Right, so this is it. This is the guitar that was in the box. As you can see, it's a Glarry. This is the GTL Semi Hollow, which basically, you know, it's you can see what it is. It's a semi hollow Telecaster style guitar with a humbucker in the neck position. How I came to get this guitar was that Glarry basically contacted me and said, because I've reviewed a couple of their guitars before, they said, would you like to review another one? Choose one and we'll send it to you. So I chose this one and they sent it to me. I have not paid for this guitar. This guitar has been sent to me courtesy of Glarry, but if it's a stinker, then rest assured I will tell you. This is just very much a first impressions video. I don't know what I'm going to be saying yet because I'm going to be discovering what I think about this guitar as we go through. Let's first of all have a little bit of a look at the spec for this guitar. Here's what it looks like on the Glarry website. So, you know, this is the guitar I've got. If we just take a scroll down and have a look at the specs. Oh, Daryl's reviewed one. Seems quite happy with it. So it's a right-handed guitar with a basswood body. There's blue. It's in a burley wood finish. That's the one I've got there. Pearl scratch plate, maple neck, rosewood fretboard, 6 strings, obviously. The frets are white copper frets. Cupro nickel, I believe it's sometimes called. It's an alloy, I think, of copper and nickel, heavy on the copper, which means that these frets are not going to be, you know, long lasting. You're going to have to, eventually, you know, you'll start getting fret buzz and stuff with them. Humbucker and a single coil, brass bridge saddles, and, you know, people always ask me about the weight of these guitars, 5.95 pounds. So that is what we've got there in terms of specs. The body, actually, if you look there, you can kind of see the construction. You know, it's like a sandwich. You've got the one layer of wood there. Presumably this is what they're calling the burley wood, and another layer there, and then I'm guessing this must be the basswood in the middle. It's a string through bridge, which is nice on a guitar that costs a penny short of £100. And, you know, there are no surprises in this guitar. It is exactly what you think. Straight out of the box, it needed a little bit of setup work. It still needs a little bit. Now, obviously, it was way out of tune. There was just no tension in the strings at all. So I tuned it and stretched them in and tuned it and stretched them in. It's pretty stable now. There was quite a severe concave bow in the neck. It was, you know, like really kind of high action by the time you got up to this part of the neck here. And I've lowered the action, tweaked the truss rod a little bit and lowered the action. Let's just have a quick look now, see what the action is like at the 12th fret. Yeah, that's just a shade over 2 millimeters at the 12th fret. You know, about, just call it 2 millimeters in round figures. So it's, you know, it's not high action, but it's not like a ridiculously low action either. Baby Bear Porridge springs to mind. It's probably just about right for most people. That said, though, it does on this area of the neck here have a little bit of fret buzz, as I shall now. it is mainly on the D string. Little bit of spot leveling will probably sort that out, but this is just, you know, it's the nature of the beast. These things are built down to a price, and you know, with those copper frets, there's always going to be a little bit of you know, well, they wear out quicker, basically. Even though this is a brand new guitar, you don't know how many people have actually played it in the factory and, you know, or wherever. But a little bit of fret buzz there. I'm just plugged into the Sonic 8 Twiggy Blues at the moment, which is going into the, you see there's a little laptop there, and that the guitar is being recorded into that at the moment, and then I merge the two audio files in the edit. Basically, I'm just going into that PC because Reaper and this camera software do not agree with each other, and they scrap like drunks in a car park, basically. So we'll just get a basic idea of how it sounds. I've got the blues overdrive on the Twiggy Blues at the moment, and I've got the guitar's volume control rolled back, and it does give a rather pleasing kind of clean sound there, vintage clean sound. It's one of these guitars that does clean up well from the guitar's volume control. If I go to like the neck humbucker and open the taps, you know, fully, you'll hear. Now, interestingly, when you get a little bit of gain on that, that sitar-like fret buzz seems to kind of get a lot less noticeable. And then just clean it up again from the volume control. The neck itself is a really comfortable neck to play. It's what would I say? It's like it's a C profile, and it's got a fairly flat fretboard radius. I don't remember seeing anything on the in the specs here about the actual fretboard radius, but it's, I would say, probably well, it's very flat and very modern feeling, so it's probably going to be 12-inch or maybe even kind of flatter than that, maybe even 14-inch, which is fine by me. I do like a nice kind of, I'm not a big fan of the sort of heavily cambered fretboard, things like that, but it's, you know, it does all of the kind of sounds that you'd expect it to make. Yeah, so I mean, these are obviously the pickups are not going to be great sounding pickups, but you know, going through just a cheap little thing like the well, great sounding, it has to be said, but you know, a budget setup like the Twiggy Blues I'm going into now, or I should imagine any, you know, beginner practice amp type thing, then they are more than good enough for the job. It's a comfortable guitar to play. You know, there is no fret sprout. I've played guitars costing many times what one of these will set you back, and you know, have had horrible sharp fret edges. Not so on this guitar. As I say, there is that little issue there with a bit of fret buzz around this part of the neck, but you know, let's look at this guitar for what it is. It's aimed at, you know, the beginner market, and you know, it's, you know, probably kids who are, their parents are going to be buying the guitar for them, and this is more than good enough to get you on your guitar playing journey. The tuners, tuning it up, I mean, they don't feel like the most expensive tuners in the world, but then again, why would they? But they work pretty smoothly. They get the guitar in tune, and since I've stretched the strings in, it seems to be staying in tune pretty well. Let's just take a listen to the sound of the pickups. Just play a few bits and pieces on the neck humbucker first of all. quite a nice sort of neck humbucker sound. It's just, it's fat, but without sounding woolly and muddy. Got the middle pickup setting now. Let's see if we can kind of coax out some country sort of sounds. You know, it'll do, I suspect, if we do that kind of, that country cliche. The volume control, as you heard there, is a little bit all or nothing, but it still works to clean the sound up nicely. Bridge pickup, what we got here, you know. You know, I mean, it does the sounds that you expect a guitar like this to do. As I said earlier, it holds no surprises. If we just kind of wind up the volume again and go for the full gain sort of thing. You know, it's great for doing that sort of rootsy barroom rock and roll country blues kind of stuff. And as I say, it's a very comfortable guitar to play. The couple of little issues with the frets aside, I can't really find anything wrong with it, to be honest with you. You know, I'm sure whoever ends up getting this when Zoe's Place auction it off will be very happy with this as a beginner instrument, or even, you know, maybe with a few upgrades. You know, you could get you could gig with it. You know. Chuck some. I suspect these pickups might be if I just go like this, you know. You know, I suspect they will be a little bit microphonic at you know, at volume, but you know, set of Vanson pickups to go into this, and maybe spend a bit of you know, a bit of money on shielding it and stuff. You know, it would make a viable, giggable instrument, you know, as a second guitar, you know, in case you bust a string or something like that. I just can't get over how good cheap guitars are nowadays. I've just got that in me head of like when I was, you know, an adolescent, and the sort of horrible things like Marlin Sidewinders and, you know, my satellite Les Paul copy. This is in a different league. You know, the world has definitely changed. So there you go, folks. Not a bad little guitar. Those are my first impressions and thoughts on the Glarry GTL Semi Hollow. Let me know what you think down in the description. And coming up on Sunday, there will be a full kind of track where I'm using this and having a bit of an extended play with it through a slightly more, you know, professional sounding setup, you know, using some decent positive grid plugins and stuff to get a nicer tone out of it. So we'll see how it shapes up then. But that's pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video and found it useful and informative. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not give me a like while you're at it? Don't forget the live stream tomorrow, Friday, 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and talk about music and guitars and all sorts of good stuff. It's a fantastic way to kick off the weekend, and I would love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.